Oh, Sam. Where are you, man? I miss you, dude. I miss the little sound you make when you put on the night vision goggles, and I miss doing like split jumps and then like landing on people's heads. And I miss like all your like little gadgets and everything. Where you at, dude? I miss you, man. I miss you. Oh, hey, what's up, dude? What's going on, my dudes? It's your boy Beardson Beardley here. And today we're going to talk about a game development studio. Now, I just want to preface you guys, because I know this is probably going to be the first video on my channel, because this is happening right now. I'm not one of these guys that does, like, positive gaming news, okay? I don't consider myself to be some guy that's just going to come out here and whine and complain all the time. I love video games, and there's a lot to be happy about in the games industry, don't get me wrong. But I'm also not going to sit here and pretend like everything's peaches and cakes and confetti and parades, because it's not. The games industry is in a bad state, and I'm going to talk about it. And that's going to be the topic of today's video is Ubisoft. What are you doing? I genuinely do not understand what you're doing. So, I have a very sordid history with Ubisoft because I grew up playing their games. I grew up playing Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six and Rainbow Six Vegas and all of the Splinter Cell games. I loved Tom Clancy games. I even bought Hawks. You guys remember Hawks? The jet fighter game? And you had the little... I bought them all, man. I loved Tom Clancy as a franchise. It even got me to read some Tom Clancy books, which is saying a lot for me because I hate reading. But I look at the state of Ubisoft today and from the past couple of years, and I just have to ask myself, what is going on over there? Because they seem to be the most out-of-touch game development studio on the planet. And that's saying a lot, considering that there's still EA floating out there. But you know what? At least EA will be like, here's another Madden game. I know you guys want it. Ubisoft is so completely out of touch with their fan base at this point that I don't think they even know what to do to get themselves out of it. So today, I'm going to talk about all of the missteps that they've taken over the past couple of years, the missteps that they're going to be taking in the future, and how they should fix these things. As someone who's a big fan of Ubisoft, or at least used to be, and as a gamer, what I want to see from them. The reason why I'm doing this video, the reason why, is because they tweeted out a couple days ago that they are about to reveal a new entry in the Tom Clancy franchise. And immediately, Twitter went aflutter with speculation. To the point where it was the number one trending topic on Twitter. Splinter Cell. Is it going to be a new Splinter Cell? Can we finally get a new Splinter Cell? Because it has been since the glorious year of 2013 on the Xbox 360 have we seen the likes of Sam Fisher grace our screen. And you know what? This may be a hot take. I liked Blacklist a lot. I really, truly did. There honestly hasn't been a bad Splinter Cell game in my opinion. I liked Double Agent. Both versions. I played them both. And I liked them. I liked Conviction. It felt like 24 the game. It was a little different for the franchise, but it was still fun. And Blacklist felt like a return to form almost for the franchise to me. Because it really had great level design that almost, to me, reminded me of a game like Chaos Theory, which is, I think, obviously the greatest Splinter Cell game of all time. And I really enjoyed the different specs that you had and the different ways to play, because sometimes I just want to boot up a Splinter Cell game and I think it's funny to just pick up a P90 and just mow people down, you know, when I'm just goofing off. And they actually accounted for that in the game. Blacklist, I thought, was a fantastic game with fantastic level design. I really, really liked it a lot. The multiplayer sucked, let's be real, but the core single-player experience was great. And then what happened? Bye-bye, forever. Why? You guys are on the verge of doing something really great and revitalizing a franchise that I think does need to be revitalized. Let's be real, because as much as I love Splinter Cell, going back and playing through those old games after playing something like Metal Gear Solid 5 is a little rough, okay? It is. It's a little rough. But you know what? I think Sam Fisher deserves it. I think Sam Fisher deserves that leap to the 21st century, to the new generation of consoles, and to a new generation of gamers. I believe that Sam Fisher has a home as one of the greatest icons in video game history. I truly believe that. Michael Ironside's performance notwithstanding. But, what did we get instead, gamers? What did we get instead? We got this. XDefiant, a free-to-play first-person shooter game set in the Tom Clancy universe, which means that while Ubisoft acknowledges that Sam Fisher is a household name and that gamers want to see more of him, they're instead content with pimping him out and prostituting him in free-to-play mobile garbage to get you to download it and buy a Sam Fisher skin. Much like they did in Ghost Recon Wildlands, which was actually not a bad game. I'm not gonna hate on Ghost Recon Wildlands. That was a fun game. But this, nobody asked for. Did anybody sit there and think to themselves, hey, I wonder when Ubisoft's going to come out with Black Ops 4? Did anybody ask themselves that? Were gamers championing Ubisoft on Twitter to make a generic-looking first-person shooter game? Were gamers crying to the games industry, where are the first-person shooters? Where are they, guys? Come on! I don't think that's what was happening. And this is a prime example of how out of touch Ubisoft is. I'm not going to sit here and talk bad about this game too much because obviously I've never played it. And honestly, I'll probably download it because it's free and give it a whirl, but I'm not optimistic that it's going to be something that I stick with. There's nothing new or original here for me, other than a quirky art style that looks like, I don't know, an even more generic version of Watch Dogs. I mean, that's what I thought this was when I first saw the trailer. I was like, so they're making a Watch Dogs first-person shooter? It looks so bland to me. There's nothing exciting about this. Skins? Like, is that what I'm supposed to get excited about? Overwatch or Black Ops 4 style powers? There's just nothing here that to really stand out for me. And I just think how much of a shame it is that resources and development time are going to get wasted on this game, which, let's be real, is probably going to end up like Ubisoft's Battle Royale game. Did you even know that Ubisoft released a Battle Royale game like a year and a half ago? You know what's sad? I've played it, and I can't even remember the name of it right now. I can't even remember the name of it. Hyperscape, I think is what it was called, right? This is so completely wrong to me that this is what they've decided to put in development time into. Instead of a new Ghost Recon game, how great would this have been if they got rid of the quirky art style and they made it a more tactical style shooter with more futuristic elements, like say like a GRAW, like a Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare or Warfighter, whatever it was called. How great would that have been? I would actually have been like, yeah, you know what, I'll check that out. A new Ghost Recon game that's free to play and it's more tactical. That sounds awesome. Instead, it looks like Watch Dogs threw up all over Call of Duty. That's what it looks like. Did anybody ask for this? Was anybody asking for this? I didn't see on Twitter, #1 trending topic, new FPS! No. It was Splinter Cell. That's what fans are wanting from you. Speaking of fan demands, what happened to Beyond Good and Evil 2, Ubisoft? You guys thought it was such a big deal that you were making Beyond Good and Evil 2 that you announced it 8 years ago, finally showed it off 4 years ago at the end of your E3 press conference and made it the highlight of your E3 press conference. And guess what? We haven't seen anything from it since. We haven't even heard anything about it since. 4 years. What happened to Skull and Bones? A lot of people were really excited for Skull and Bones because they were like, man, I loved the ship combat from Black Flag, and they're making a whole multiplayer game based off of that. Man, it sounds awesome. And especially with the success of Sea of Thieves, you would think we really need to put some resources into this and get this out. People are really clamoring for like a ship pirate game. Where is it at? Nobody knows. Instead, what you've decided to do is put resources into a Rainbow Six zombie game? Who was asking for this? Who was like, yeah, I want a Rainbow Six game that's a generic cheap ripoff of Left 4 Dead with really boring and bland looking enemies and horrible gameplay. Who's asking for this? I would love to know. I would love to meet the person that approached you and said, I want a Rainbow Six Siege zombie game. I'm going to go ahead and put my money where my mouth is right here. That game is going to flop so hard because it looks so bad. And there's probably a reason why you guys pushed it back to next year, right? It was supposed to come out, what, 2 months? Gets pushed back to next year. Wonder why. Get it together. It's embarrassing. It is absolutely embarrassing to watch you guys flounder this hard. And look, I'm trying to say this from a place of love here. I really am. Because you guys have some great franchises, and you guys have made some terrific games in the past. I mean, again, have you heard of our Lord and Savior, Splinter Cell? But you guys are putting resources into games that nobody gives a crap about. You're making a Division spinoff? Why? You guys have tried to make the Division a thing, and it's just not going to happen. Sure, there are people that still play the Division 2 and love it, and you know what? I don't think it was a piece of crap or anything, but it's not worthy of all of these development resources into a franchise that, frankly, most gamers just don't care about. You guys already have franchises that people are desperate to see again, and instead you take resources and put them into just crap. Just absolute crap. Riders Republic? Why? Rainbow Six Quarantine? Who cares? A Division mobile free-to-play game? Who cares? XDefiant? Nobody asked for any of these things. Instead of trying to do this, like, faux creativity, and that's really what it is, because nothing you're doing is actually really, like, creative or inventive or anything. It's just kind of like The Last Jedi. Subverting our expectations, but not in a very good way. Right? Why instead do we not just take what gamers love and make it better? And I hate to keep saying this. Splinter Cell. The fans have been asking for it for years. Every single time you guys do a press conference, you know what happens? Splinter Cell is the #1 trending topic on Twitter. Every single year. Every single time you guys are announcing a new game, Splinter Cell is the #1 trending topic on Twitter. Do you guys have like a social media head that like lets you know these things? Hey guys, just a heads up, we're trending on Twitter. Oh yeah, what? Wow, XDefiant's trending on Twitter? Well, actually, Splinter Cell is, but that's still us, right? You would think somebody would have this conversation with you. You would think, you know what, we're just going to bite the bullet. We're just going to give the gamers what they want. It's been years, man. It's been years. I've been doing this for at least 4 years, and it's every single year, man. Splinter Cell, Splinter Cell, Splinter Cell. The only thing that's keeping you guys afloat right now is Assassin's Creed. The player count in Rainbow Six Siege has dropped drastically because you stubbornly refuse to make a sequel to it, and you want to milk that game for all you can. Nobody wants to get into Rainbow Six Siege anymore. You want to know why? Because you've bloated the game with so many different operators and abilities that it's almost impossible for a new player to get into that game and figure out what's going on and do okay. This would be the perfect time, instead of making Rainbow Six Quarantine, to take those development resources and those developers and to make a sequel to Rainbow Six Siege, and instead you create a crappy spinoff that nobody wants. We're telling you what we want, and you actively go against us. The only logical conclusion that I make is either you are completely out of touch with gamers and you're just not listening to us, or you're actively sabotaging your own company. That's it. That's the only conclusions that I can make. And to be honest, man, I'm about at the point where I'm truly at the point where I'm just not going to buy another Ubisoft game and give you guys any more money until you guys just at least say that you're working on a new Splinter Cell game. Just tweet it out. I don't even need a trailer. Actually, you know what? Given your guys' track record, actually I do. I need to see the game. Because I don't want Splinter Cell to turn into another Skull and Bones or Beyond Good and Evil 2. Because let's be real, you guys don't have a great track record right now with finishing what you started either. So, there it is. I desperately want you guys to be a good game development studio, and I desperately want you guys to do the right thing and make games that I want to buy. But as a gamer who's bought your games day one for a very long time, I'm done. I'm fed up, and I can't support you guys anymore. I'm sorry. I'm not buying Riders Republic. I'm not buying Rainbow Six Quarantine. I'm not buying whatever bullcrap you come out with next. You know what's crazy? People have been asking for a Japanese or an Asian-themed Assassin's Creed game for a very long time now. How cool would it be to be a samurai? Especially after the release of Ghost of Tsushima. People like samurai games. And you still refuse to do it. That's been since like Assassin's Creed 2. People have been talking about, man, how cool would it be if you were like a Japanese samurai or a ninja, like instead in that awesome, Eastern, continent like timeline. That'd be so cool. And you guys still refuse to do it. Start listening to gamers, or you guys are going to fall on your faces time and time and time again. I really want you guys to succeed, but it's just not looking likely. Anyways, I'm Beardson Beardly. I'm going to go split jump out of here. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace! Like, subscribe, comment, whatever. I don't know. Bye.